Hi guys, this is the Algebra 2 Chapter 2 review, answer key. And just to preface this, of course you could graph all of these. You could graph them all in your calculator if you knew how, but for what I'm going to do is just show you how to find the answers by hand. So look at that minus 5. That means we go down 5. So here's our parent function, and we would need to shift down 5. So I automatically know that this answer is not a choice. Here we are again, parent function needs to shift down 5, so this answer, not a choice. Okay, now before I scroll down, since I'm going to lose my screen here, this one, with the minus in there, is actually, you're thinking like the opposite of what you see. So don't go left. Nope, don't do it. You're going to go to the right. So we're going to go down 5 and to the right 3. So see, both of these went down 5. They both went down 5. But this one went to the right 3, right, 3 units. And so this is our answer choice. Again, put it in the y equals in your calculator, take a look at it, and you wouldn't have even needed to know that. Technology is amazing, isn't it? Okay, same thing here. Put it in your calculator, guys. If in doubt, graph it out. But since I do know how to do this by hand, I'm going to teach you. That plus 2 is on the outside, and it means this graph is going up 2. Not that way, for sure. So it's probably this answer choice, but let's see if any of these go up. Nope, not up. No, not up. So it was definitely this one right here. Up 2. Okay, tricky this. That 4 is on the inside. And when something is on the inside, it is the opposite of what you think it is. Okay, so what we want to look for is horizontal. This is definitely horizontal. So here we have horizontal. This one says it's left. No way, it is not left. And here we have horizontal. And this one is saying up. No way, it's not up. Okay, so it's either a stretch or it's a shrink. Now let's pretend for just a minute that you don't know what it is. And so if you don't know what it is, let's just pick a test point, like 2. So let's say it's 4 times 2 squared. Sorry, that's all in there. So 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 squared is 64. And so 2 should be 64. Well, this graph, for sure, looks like 2 might be 64. Now let's go down here. Is 2 64? No, it's really not. So it's not this graph, and we have figured out it must be this graph, which means it must be a shrink. So if in doubt, graph it out, and even if you don't want to use the graphing calculator, you can still pick a test point to look and see where a point is going to be on the graph. Alright, over here, it says we're supposed to write a rule and then identify the vertex. So first we want to do a horizontal shrink by a factor of 1/5. So remember, horizontal's on the inside, and a translation of 4 units up. So a horizontal shrink by a factor of 1/5 is actually f of 5x. So what you're going to do is put 5x in everywhere where you see x. So I see an x right there. So when I put it in, it's going to be 5x plus 1 squared minus 1. Now don't look at your ABCDs yet because we've only started this problem. Now it says and 4 up. 4 up means we add 4. Okay, so what we have is 5x plus 1, quantity squared, plus 3. Now what they want us to do is a reflection in the x. If you remember, reflection in the x has a minus on the outside. So basically what you do is you take this entire function and you put a -1 on the outside. So we should have a negative on the outside and then a -3. And it's not a 5, it's not a 5, it's definitely a 1. So a negative on the outside and a -3, It's going to be this choice right here. Okay, so now what we're going to do is graph this function. Guys, again, stick it in your graphing calculator and look at it and see what it looks like. But if for whatever reason you don't have one or don't want to do that, we're going to look at this. It has no up or down shift. It has a shift here on the inside. And when something is on the inside, it's the opposite of what you think it is. So we want to head to the right 5 units. And that means our vertex is 5, 0. So be looking for a vertex of 5, 0. Hey, that one has a vertex of 5, 0. Let's see what else we got. Nope. Nope. This is the only one that went to the right 5 units, so that's our answer right there. Okay, over here we're graphing it again. Remember the vertex is the opposite of what you see and then what you see, so you're looking for -5, -4. And remember, if in doubt, graph it out, but I don't think we have any doubts here. There's your answer, -5, -4. There was only one choice that made sense. I didn't even look at the 3 when I did this. I didn't need to. They're all very narrow graphs. Pretty much if you can identify the vertex correctly, you can get it correct. Or if you can graph it in your graphing calculator, you can get it correct also. Okay, now this one's a little bit different. You can plug this in your graphing calculator if you want, of course. If in doubt, graph it out. But I'm going to show you how to do it by hand. So first of all, notice that these guys open up and then down and then down and then up. This function is a positive x squared. Positive x squared is going to open up. So that's the first rule. And then we learned a formula in class. It's the opposite of b over 2a. So we have -6 over 2, which is -3. That's going to be the x value of the vertex. So if -3 is the x value of the vertex, ta-da! I don't need to look any further. I have found my graph. And I could have just plugged that in the calculator and cheated that one, no problem. Okay, same thing here. Plug it in your calculator if you want, but I will explain how to do it. This is a +2, so this graph does not go down. This graph does not go down. Now, what I can do is notice that the opposite of b over 2a, this is both 0 already. So I bet you that the x value of the vertex is 0 because, look, both of our answer choices are 0. So let's try plugging that point in. If I say x equals 0, then I get 2 times 0 squared plus 4, which is just 0 plus 4. So I'm looking for the point 0, 4. And I have that right here in this answer choice. Again, if in doubt, graph it out, but there it was. Okay, here we go again, graphing the function. Put it in your graphing calculator if you have doubts, guys. But you have so much practice now with zeros that you should just be able to rock this problem because you're looking for the opposite of what you see, which means you are looking for +2, 0. +2 zeros right there, that is not. Okay, and then you are also looking for, this one would be -4, 0. Oops, I drew it really small. -4, 0 would be right here. So let's see if there's any more. This, nope, not this one. -4, 0, +2, 0. Okay, so look at my answer choices. This one's opening upward. This one's opening downward. Come over here, look at your coefficient. Do you have a negative right here anywhere? No, you don't. So you need to open up. So you're looking at this choice right here. You could have just put it in your graphing calculator and seen the answer. Okay, here we are again, and I'm going to say it again. You can just put this in your graphing calculator and see the answer, but you can also do it by hand faster than the calculator because it opens down. That -3 means it opens down, so this guy's wrong, this guy's wrong. Okay, so we know it opens down, and then clearly it's just a shift here. There's a shift somehow, so let's see. This means it's supposed to go to the left 2. So from 0, 0 we go left 2, or from 0, 0 we go right 2. Well, we just said it was left. So it's this answer here. Okay, the meat and potatoes of chapter 2 right here. We've got this focus and directrix thing. So remember, the focus is always in the dish, and then we have two formulas. Y equals 1 over 4p x squared, or x equals 1 over 4p y squared. Keep in mind, these guys open up and down, these guys open left and right. They open that way depending on the sign. This would be a positive and a negative and a positive. So there's your quick lesson for you. So keep in mind, focus always in the dish. So let's see where this focus is. It's right here at 3, 0, 3, 0. 1, 2, 3. And the directrix is at x equals -3, so it's right here. So it's going to be like this. So we just talked about what we need. That means it's this graph here. So it's going to be positive and have a y squared. It's going to have a y squared. It's going to have a y squared. And then the formula says it's 1 over 4p. So what is p? Well, just count it. How many does it take to get there? 1, 2, 3. So it's 3, and so it's 1 over 12. Just like that, guys. Okay, so focus is up here somewhere. Directrix down here somewhere, which means it opens this way. So go back to that last page. Remember what that means? That means it's an x squared, so cross off the y squareds, and that means it's positive. Oh, well, both of these are positive, so let's go ahead and figure it out. It's 1 over 4p x squared, and in this case, p is just the distance to get to that, which was 1/5. So what you're going to do is multiply by 5 over 1, and we get 5/4. Now, if you're so stuck on this one, you could put it in the graphing calculator. Just on that main math page, you could do 1 divided by parentheses 4 times parentheses 1 divided by 5, close, close, and press enter. And then you're going to get a decimal. At that point, you are probably smart enough to know that this decimal is 1 point stuff, and this decimal is point stuff. But if you don't even know that, you could just press math, and then enter again, and your calculator would give you that fraction. Okay, it says write it in vertex form. So here's what you need to remember. The vertex is always the opposite of what you see. So you're looking for a +7. Hey, look, they all have a +7. The next thing is this is going down. So because it's going down, that one is wrong, and that one is wrong. And then like we just said, we want the opposite. So since I see a -7 here, my vertex must be the one with the positive. Okay, it says I have intercepts like this and I pass through a point. Okay, first of all, intercepts are the opposite of what you see. So here's your intercepts. Unfortunately, it looks like those all have that. They all have that. Okay, so that does not help us. So let's see if graphing it does. We've got 2 here, 1, 2 here, and then 0, -1 is right here. Which way does this mean this opens? Can you see which way it opens? It's going to open this way. So if it's opening that way, it is not negative. Oh, whoops, I need to get my pen. It's not negative, not negative. Okay, now we need to know if it's 1/4 or if it's 4. And you just really don't know, do you? Until you pick a point to plug in. So what I would do is I would plug in 0 and see. So right here, let's pick this one first. It's 1/4. If I plug in 0 for x, that's 0 minus 2, 0 plus 2. So that's 1/4 of -4, which is -1. Was I supposed to have -1? Why, yes, I was. So we found the answer. Now, just to prove a point here, let's do the other one. This would be 4 times -4, which is -16. That is not what we were supposed to have. Great. I think we're almost done here. Okay, now it says write an equation for the parabola. It's opening up. So because it's opening up, you know it's an x squared. You know the formula is 1 over 4p equals y. So it's an x squared, it's an x squared. Up is positive, but unfortunately both of these are positive. Okay, so what is your p value? What value for p are you going to put in here? You got to count it. It's 5/9. So now you either need to know this in your head or how to put it in the calculator to get the correct answer. But we're multiplying by the reciprocal. Okay, last problem. Here we are. It's talking about the minimum values of the function and the maximum values of the function. So what you want to do is you want to graph this function. And when you do, you'll see that it looks like this on your graph, where that right there is -3, which means the minimum value, the minimum value, wow, we didn't even have to do any other work on this problem. We were already automatically able to see the answer. Was answer choice C, without even talking about domain and range. So I want to go ahead and just touch domain and range for just a minute. This is the lowest the y values go, which means all of the y values in this function are greater than or equal to -3. See, there's your range. And then decreasing and increasing is something we've done a lot of practice with. See, the function is decreasing right here on the left of x equals 0, and it's increasing right here on the right. Fantastic. Okay, I hope you learned something. I hope you pressed pause a lot and are going to rock this test. Bye guys, have a good day.